What I've found here, the people who come to watch and the people that work here, there is a real straightforwardness to it. If you put the work in and give it your heart and soul, then they'll love you for it. I only have to look out the window of this dressing room and I see it, and it's going to get you excited. We're trying to build something for more than a year and more than a season, and that sort of commitment into that is from the support staff, the coaches, the players, and that's about developing people. And we've seen lots of it coming, from our young players coming into some of the senior stalwarts like Luke Fletcher having a fantastic season last year. So it's a good place to be, it's a great place to coach, because we're amongst good people. Memories are normally people, I think, people and moments for me. That sort of, often it's where sport is fantastic. You get those moments that they stick in your memory. If they end up in wins, they tend to stay there a bit longer, but I can think of so many different moments, from Samet's run out in 17 in a finals day to Jake Ball and Harry Gurney closing out a game at Worcester in that 2020 series, which we never should have done. Dane Patterson's catch against Lancashire last year. I can think of Dane Patterson's catch at Derby when we were trying to get a win running around the boundary. Dan Christian smacking 100 at North. There's so many memories. Chris Reed's 1000th catch. And if you're privileged enough to be there and witness it live, as members can be, as coaches we're here, I think you always remember it's a privilege, because you're sharing something with a player, and we share it with, we're part of it. We're all part of it. So that to me makes coaching exciting, makes being around it exciting, and long may that continue. I always feel very lucky to still be in the game. That's part of the fun of being in pro sport. You get highs and you've got to be able to take some of the lows that go with it. What I've found here, the people who come to watch and the people that work here, there is a real straightforwardness to it. If you put the work in and give it your heart and soul, then they'll love you for it. I've always said to anybody, I can't guarantee if we win or lose, but hopefully I can say that we're going to make sure we produce a group of players and coaches who will give everything to represent the club in a way that will make you proud. Ultimately, you want to win trophies, because that is a great recognition that you producing good players. I think I view it differently, in that I think a lot of success is about improvement and growth, and players getting better. I believe pretty strongly if your players get better, then you win anyway. The winning is sort of something that comes along. It's a distraction sometimes, in a way. The one thing that hit me when I first came here was the sort of family feel of the place. It's got a feel that it still holds on to tradition, from the buildings to the way things are done. And one of the things I always felt when I came here, I always wanted to make sure we built on that. We didn't lose that. We had to do things in a slightly different way, maybe, because the game demands that, and it's changed a little bit. I think the pandemic really helped us understand what we missed. One of the things that was really interesting for me, we phoned round during that pandemic and phoned round members, and I had some brilliant conversations with people, and various people from, somebody maybe, it was an ex-coal miner who'd been coming here for ages and knew stuff, to people telling him about the first overseas we'd had and about the time he watched Don Bradman play, to a doctor at Queen's Med saying he loved Friday nights because his family came and visited, and we all came and watched on a 2020 night. It was fantastic, and we stayed up for the weekend. But they all had the same sort of relationship to the club, that they loved the club and they just wanted to see the club get better. And mainly when people would talk to me would be, we want to see you do well, we want to see that. So that passion and frustration at times when we weren't playing well is a great thing to have, because if they weren't bothered, we'd have a problem. But what I really enjoyed last year was when the crowds were back in, that we got lots of time, people would stop you and say, listen, you know, it's great to see what's going on. We love the fact that some of your own youngsters are coming through. You know, someone like Dane Patterson, who came in from as an overseas, you know, and he wears his heart on his sleeve and got stuck in. That was great feedback. So it means an awful lot to me, but I think also to all the players. You know, it's exciting when you get a full house, but by the same token, on a championship game, you maybe get less people in, but there's no less passion. We talk a lot about creating an environment where it's great to be in. You know, I know if we're getting it right, everybody wants to be here and no one wants to go. That's when you know something's working. And I think what we're trying to do here is create opportunity for people to get better and achieve their dreams, really. And within that, if they're excited to do that and they balance that out, we'll always celebrate each player, but there's only one rule of thumb, that the players' dreams and ambitions can't be ahead of the team's. The team is still going to be the number one thing, because we represent Notts County Cricket Club, and that is the overall, what makes a team is that we all work for one purpose, and that's to do well and help each other. Generally people come and they talk about it in a way of, it's home. It feels like home, you know, they come in, and I think you get that sometimes from overseas players. You know, David Hussey came over, I think it was 2 years ago, and he just came over, it was over a week. He came in the dressing room, we played at Edgbaston, and he came and helped in the warm-up, and he was talking about the club in a way that he hadn't been here for a long time, but what a player for the club. But you could still feel it meant everything to him. He wanted to see the next crew of players not just play well, but play in a way that would make him proud as a player that had gone and achieved so much. When I very first walked through the doors, it's the one thing that really hits you straight away with all big clubs, and Notts is a big club, is the history of the place. You hope in your time in here you can make some sort of impact to leave some memories and hopefully help produce great teams that will go on and represent the club in a way that some of those teams have in the past. There's an integrity needed, there's a humility needed as a sportsman, I think, that people see straight away, that one, helps you improve as a sportsman, and two, keeps your feet on the ground, ready to go out and represent the club in the way you should. Even if you've just done well yourself, you're still ready to go again, because that's part of your responsibility.